Ah, ah, ah. 1, 2, my check. Let me see. I'm gonna try to turn on some songs, right? Well, let's see. Okay, cool.
Do you have the time to listen
Okay, can you hear
to
it?
me whine about nothing and everything all at
It's too big, right?
once? I am one of
Maybe
melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about
it's not bad, right?
Sometimes I give myself the
Okay. Guys, it's been a while. Oh, yeah. Long time no see. Actually, that's not that long, cause maybe it's been almost 1 week or more than 1 week. Anyways, it's lunchtime for me in Korea, and my today's lunch is just one piece of sandwich. Not bad. And you know what, guys? I have one thing to tell you, guys. Here is my new plan. Here's my new game plan. Let me tell you. You know, I am I usually used to stream with playing games, like, cause at the beginning of at the time I just loved playing games, and same at this moment too. But to be honest, I don't have a lot of time to play games these days, because I need to prepare to get a job, and in fact it's very important time in my life. I'm middle of 20th. I'm in the middle of 20th, so I have to be a person who has a real job. You know, that's a common. So, the thing is, I don't have much time to play game casually, and maybe if I get a job later and if I have some time, then I will play games again. Of course, I still play games, but not that long. Some I Sometimes I just play games for hours or less than that. So, but I have to stream my broadcasting, because I have to practice speaking English, and most of all, I like these things, streaming. So, well, my point is, so I came up with a new idea for my streaming and my learning English, speaking English, like that. And that is reading a book with you guys. I will read a book, like a famous story, but it will be a old story, cause you know I love Harry Potter's and Lord of Rings, like that. I don't know that exact title. You know, Hobbit, like that. I love that things like fantasy, magic, magicians, stories like that. That novel, but that latest stories, that modern stories, modern novels can't be read on streaming because they have, you know, copyright. Absolutely. And if you know, if I read that, if I read those stories, and I will get some arrest to Twitch, or I don't know. Anyway, so I will read some books, but that's not modern books. That will be old stories, like, you know, Romeo and Juliet, Gatsby, something like that. But still, there's a lot of famous stories and good stories in that in that generation, you know. So it's okay. We we still have a lot of things to do. So I'm gonna try that way for these days. Let's see how it goes. I hope it'll be fun. And most of all, I hope it will be helpful for my English practice. Okay, lunch finish. Now, okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Be better holder. Da 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 da. Na da 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 da. La 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 la. Give me a sec. I need to bring a keyboard. Here it is. This is my Bluetooth keyboard, Logitech. You know? Do you know this brand? I think it's pretty good. It works well. And most of all, it's simple. Simple is best, you know? So I'm gonna try some find the. Oh, what was that? Let me see. Yeah, it is called. There is a very famous site. I don't know it is famous or not, but here is some official site for free ebooks, but only for old books, and it is called Project Gutenberg. I don't know if you guys know this site or not. Anyway, by the way, okay, let me show you. Okay, here it is. This site is what I said, Project Gutenberg. This site is for free ebooks. You will find the world's great literature here with focus on older, but only for older works for which US copyright has expired. So it is very perfect for me, who is streaming on Twitch. So here is some list for believe it or not. This is newest release. Let's see. Here is I don't know all of those, but if you scroll down a little bit more, here is a well-known literature for us. You know, Moby Dick, Pride and Prejudice. Those things are very famous, right? Maybe you will be familiar with those literature, these books. Frankenstein, yeah. City of God. I don't know. What is this? Romeo and Juliet. Crime and Punishment. Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, you know. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde, yeah. Yeah, kind of these things. So actually I already picked for my first book. It'll be Alice in Wonderland. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. What years this book published? I'm just curious. Oh, 65? Not that old. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll is a children's novel published in 1865. When a curious girl named Alice spots a white rabbit with a pocket. Oh, spoiler alert! Anyway, just kidding. With a pocket watch, she tumbles down a rabbit hole into an extraordinary fantasy world filled with peculiar anthropomorphic creatures. This pioneering work of literary nonsense plays with logic and language, creating a whimsical tale that delights both children and adults. Illustrated by John Tenniel, it helped transform blah blah. Okay, so this will be our first story. Please look forward to that. And you know, actually, this is very famous, and there is also movie for this story as well, right? And I think I already read this story as a child when I was a child, but I want to read this one more time because I haven't read this book for a long time, for maybe 4 years, almost more than 20 years. Yeah, and I don't remember all of those things. I just remember rabbit, and there was poker soldiers like that. They are soldiers, but looks like poker card. I remember that things, and I don't know. I remember, maybe this will be spoiler, but okay, here's the spoiler alert. But I'm not sure. But I think this girl is a main character of this story, and I think this character managed to survive from that extraordinary world, fantasy world, and I remember that world was kind of dangerous for her, so she ran out of these things. Maybe, am I right? Let's check it out. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time because almost 30 minutes later I have to gotta go and turn off my stream, so I will do this almost every weekdays except for Thursdays, but just 1 hour in a day, like that, in this lunchtime. So we don't have a lot of time. Let's just dive into these things. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Let's see. Oh, can you guys just give me a second? Can I get some water before start this reading? Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. I'm back. Let's see. Okay, let me start my grand, grand first new stories Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And before start this, I want to tell you something. Please understand my English skills. Most of all, I am the beginner of English learning, and so there is some flow. There is some flaw and mistakes for pronunciation, and um, maybe my speed of reading will be slow. So if you like something rapid reading, this would be not fit for you. Please understand those things. My lack of English skills, and okay, that's all. Let's go. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Oh, the chapter is 12. Okay. Okay, let's start. Chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what is the use of a book? Oh, not this voice is the boy, right? Okay, let me try this way. And what is the use of a book? Thought Alice, without pictures or conversations. So she was considering in her own mind. Maybe she is a little girl, right, Alice? Maybe 7 years old, like that. Almost that. So she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies. Okay, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did. Okay, these sentences I'm reading now, I will show you. There was nothing so remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it's so very. Oh, this is confusing. I don't want to use my mouse at the same time. It is kind of difficult to do this at the same time. Okay, let me just leave it alone. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit say to itself, oh dear, I shall be late." When she thought it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered at this, but at the time, it all seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket and it looked at it and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket, or a watch to take out of it, and burning with curiosity. curiosity. She ran across the field after it, and fortunately was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. Hedge? Hedge? Just in my imagination, I don't know this meaning of hedge, but I don't know the exact. I don't know the how it looks like exactly, but it just in my imagination, maybe that is kinda tree, but 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 mm, but cut it off, not the whole tree. Maybe it looks like sliced tree, right? Uh, am I right? Let's check it out. I'm very curious. Hatch. Hatch? Did I spell it wrong? Hatch. Ah, this is a hatch, not a tree. I was wrong. Hatch is kinda tree wall. Okay. Mm-hmm. The tree fence, like that. I know. Okay, I got it. So there's a rabbit hole under the hatch, and rabbit popped out into it. Hmm. Okay, keep going. In another moment, down went Alice after it, never once considering how in the world she was to get out again. She is kinda, you know, relentless. Relentless. She is fearless. She doesn't have something like fear. Wow, how how is it possible just to follow to that rabbit hole? I can't do that. It's scary. But she was not scary at that time. Okay, let's go. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tunnel for some way and then dipped suddenly down, so suddenly that Alice had not a moment to think about stopping herself before she found herself falling down a very deep well. Either the well was very deep, or she fell very slowly. For she had plenty of time as she went down to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen next. First, she tried to look down and make out what she was coming to. Well, one more time. First she tried to look down and make out what she was coming to, but it was too dark to see anything. Okay, it's so dark around her. Then she looked at the size of the well and noticed that they were filled with cupboards. One more time, sorry. And noticed that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Oh, maybe something like here is something like somewhere like a library, or but not that library. It's just for like a room for reading books, like that. But what is cupboards? Cupboards is uh you know, in the kitchen, you can see something like shelves, but only for the cups and dishes, like that. Cupboards. Cupboards. Uh-huh. Okay. I see. I got it. And okay, they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there she saw maps and pictures. Guys, this letter is too small for you guys, right? I will I'll make it bigger. Okay, maybe where am I? Where am I now? Maybe here, right? Okay. Then she looked at the size of wall and noticed that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there she saw maps and pictures hung up on pegs. Pegs? 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 What is pegs? What is pegs? What is pegs? What is pegs? Oh, I can't guess it. I have no clue for this word. Pegs? What was it? Pegs? Pegs. This is peg? These things is pegs? Peg? Maybe? Pictures hung up in pegs. Oh, maybe. That's right. So pictures hung up on pegs. Yeah. That's it. She took down a jar from one of the shelves, and as she passed, it was labeled orange marmalade. But to her great disappointment is it was empty. She did not like to drop the jar for fear of killing somebody underneath, so managed to put it into one of the cupboards as she felt past it. Next. Well, thought Alice to herself, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. How brave they'll all think me at home. Oh. Why? Why? I wouldn't say on it. Why I wouldn't say anything about it. If not, I fell off the top of the house, which was very likely true. Down, down, down. Oh, oh. Here I am. Down, down, down. Oh, the fall never come to an end. So, she is still falling down? For now? Still? She is falling? But slowly? I don't get it exactly. Okay. I wonder how many miles I've fallen by this time, she said aloud. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Huh. Center of the earth. Okay, let me see. That would be 4,000 miles down, I think. For you see, Alice had learned several things of this sort in her lessons in the schoolroom, and though this was not a very good opportunity for showing off her knowledge, as there was no one to listen to her. Still, it was good practice to say it over. Yes, that's about the right distance. But then I wonder what latitude or longitude I've got to. Alice had no idea what latitude was or longitude either, but thought they were nice grand words to say. She's just showing off her knowledge. Okay, but she doesn't know what is latitude or longitude either, but she know there it is. There is words like that, and she feels like that is a proper word to say at that moment. She's cute. She is kind of cute. She is, you know, children, kids. Presently, okay. Presently, she began again. I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth. How funny it'll seem to come out among the people that walk with their heads downward. Oh, uh huh. Wait. It's not possible, right? Fall right through the earth and come out among the people that walk with their heads downward. It's not work like that way. You know, Earth is round, so okay, just never mind. The antipathist, I think, she was rather glad there was no one listening this time, as it didn't sound at all the right word. Uh, but I shall have to ask them what the name of the country is, Please, ma'am, is this New Zealand or Australia? And she tried to curtsy as she spoke. Fancy cursing as you're falling down, falling through the air. So she is still falling down. Okay. Do you think you could manage it? And what an ignorant little girl. She'll thank me for asking. No, it'll never do to ask. Perhaps I shall see it written up somewhere. Okay, some traffic sign like that. Down, down, down. There was nothing else to do. So Alice soon began talking again. when does it finish? This falling down. Dinah will miss me very much tonight, I should think. Dinah was the cat. I hope they'll remember her saucer of milk at tea time. Dinah, my dear, I wish you were down here with me. There were no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat, and that's very like a mouse, But do cats eat bats, I wonder? And here Alice began to get rather sleepy and went on saying to herself in a dreamy sort of way, do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? And sometimes, do bats eat cats? She's feeling dizzy. She is drowsy. Yeah, something like that. She is sleepy. For you see, as she couldn't answer either question, it didn't much matter which way she put it. She felt that she was dozing off and had just begun to dream that she was walking hand in hand with Dinah and saying to her very earnestly, I don't know what it's earnestly mean, but now Dinah, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat? When suddenly, thump, thump, down she came upon a heap of sticks and dry leaves, and the fall was over. Okay, finally, finally, fall is over. The fall is over. And she is now on the heap of sticks and dry leaves. Okay. Alice. Thankfully, Alice was not a bit hurt. She jumped up onto her feet in a moment. Hey guys, I got some feelings. Maybe it can be spoilers, but isn't it just her dream? Cause here is some clue already. At the first of this story, Alice was getting very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank. So maybe it's very sunny day. Maybe it was very sunny day at that time, and she was getting tired next to her sister, like this, on the bank, like this at the middle of the day, uh maybe some afternoon, like 1 or 2 p.m. after a lunch, after a happy lunch, and getting a, drowsy, uh, happy time with her sister, and maybe she fell asleep, and she dream her in her dream she have seen a rabbit, weird rabbit, like that. And then she was falling down, and here is more clue for these things or dream. Where is it? Yeah, this sentence. And here Alice began to get rather sleepy and went on saying to herself in a dreamy sort of way, like that. And sometimes do bats eat cats? Do bats eat cats, like that? So I suppose this whole story is just a dream. Let's see. This is just my guess. And this is very, very cliche for these things like fantasy world. So I just can't say like that. And where was I? Where was I? Oh, Alice was not a bit hurt, and she jumped up onto her feet in a moment. She looked up, but it was all dark overhead. All dark. Before her was another long passage, and the white rabbit was still in sight, hurrying down it. There was not a moment to be lost. Away went Alice like the wind. And was just in time to hear it say, as it turned the corner, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting." She was close behind it when she turned the corner. But the rabbit was no longer to be seen. She found herself in a long, low hall, which was lit up by a row of lamps hanging from the roof. Oh, scary. So now rabbit's gone. She is alone in the long narrow hallway. There were doors all around the hall, but they were all locked. And when Alice had been all the way down one side and up the door, up the other, all the way down one side and up the other, trying every door, she walked steadily down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. Oh, she's stuck. She's screwed. Suddenly, she came upon a little three-legged table. All made of solid glass. There was nothing on it except a tiny golden key. Oh, gold key. And Alice's first thought was that it might belong to one of the doors of the hall, but alas, either the locks were too large or the key was too small. But at any rate, it would not open any of them. However, on the second time round, she came upon a low curtain she hadn't noticed before, and behind it was a little door about 15 inches high. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her great delight, it fitted. Alice opened the door and found that it led into a small passage, not much larger than a rat hole. She knelt down and again, she knelt down and looked along the passage into the loveliest garden you ever saw. How she longed to get out of that dark hole and wander about among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains. Well, and wander about among those beds, bright flowers, and those cool fountains, but she could not even get her head through the doorway. And even if my head would go through, thought poor Alice, it will be all very little use without my shoulders. Oh, how I wish I could shut up like a telescope. I think I could if I only knew how to begin. For you see, so many out of the way things had happened lately that Alice had begun to think that very few things indeed were really impossible. There seemed to be no use in waiting by the little door, so she went back to the table. Half hoping she might find another key on it, or at any rate, a book of rules for shooting people up like telescopes. This time she found a little bottle on it, which certainly was not here before, said Alice. And around the neck of the bottle was a paper label with the words "Drink me" beautifully printed on it in large letters. Drink me. It seems very dangerous. It was all very well to say, "Drink me," but the wise little Alice was not going to do that in a hurry. "No, I'll look first," she said, "and see whether it's marked poison or not." For she had read several nice little histories about children who had got burned and eaten up by wild beasts and other unpleasant things, all because they would not remember the simple rules for their friends had taught them, such as that a red-hot poker will burn you if you hold it too long, and that if you cut your finger very deeply with a knife, it usually bleeds. And she had never forgotten that if you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it is almost certain to disagree with you sooner or later. However, this bottle was not marked poison, so Alice ventured to taste it and finding it very nice. It had, in fact, a sort of mixed flavor of cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roast turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast. She very soon finished it off. "What a curious feeling," said Alice. "I must be shutting up like a telescope." And so it was indeed. She was now only 10 inches high, and her face brightened up at the thought that she was now the right size for going through the little door into that lovely garden. First, however, she waited for a few minutes, so she's got smaller, like very small, tiny Mario, tiny mushroom. Anyway, first, however, she waited for a few minutes to see if she was going to shrink any further. She felt a little nervous about this, for it might end, you know, said Alice to herself. Am I going out altogether like a candle? I wondered what I should be like then. And she tried to fancy what the flame of a candle is like after a candle is blown out, for she could not remember ever having seen such a thing. After a while, finding that nothing more happened, she decided on going into the garden at once. But alas for poor Alice. When she got to the door, she found she had forgotten the little golden key, and when she went back to the table for it, She found she could not possibly reach it. She could see it quite plainly through the glass, and she tried her best to climb up one of the legs of the table, but it was too slippery. And when she had tired herself out with trying, the poor little thing sat down and cried. Come, there's no use in crying like that, said Alice to herself, rather sharply. I advise you to leave off this minute. She generally gave herself very good advice. She talked herself, right? Though she very seldom followed it. And sometimes she scolded herself so severely as to bring tears into her eyes, and once she remembered trying to box her own ears for having cheated herself in a game of croquet she was playing against herself. For this I'm here. For this curious child was very fond of pretending to be two people. But it's no use now, thought poor Alice, to pretend to be two people. Why, there's hardly enough of me left to make one respectable person. Soon her eye fell on a little glass box that was lying under the table. She opened it and found in it a very small cake on which the words, Eat me! Drink me! Eat me! were beautifully marked in currants. Well, I'll eat it, said Alice. And if it makes me grow larger, I can reach the key, and if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door. So, either way, I'll get into the garden, and I don't care which happens. She ate a little bit and said incessantly to herself, Which way, which way? Holding her hand on the top of her head to feel which way it was growing, and she was quite surprised to find that she remained the same size. To be sure, this generally happens when one eats cake. But Alice had got so much into the way of expecting nothing but out of the way things to happen that it seemed quite dull and stupid for life to go on in the common way. So she set to work and very soon finished off the cake. So, if am I right, I think she couldn't back to the normal size. She couldn't get bigger after eating cake, right? Oh. Okay, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. I have no time to stream for a long time, like 2 or 3 hours a day. I have only 1 hour for a day. So, so far, it's very funny. It's very interesting story. It's very, a little bit childish, but not that difficult reading for me as a beginner English learner. And story itself, it's interesting. Most of all, it's funny. And you know what, the narration of this story is kind of make me interested because it is describing the situation very precisely, very specifically, and with a little bit sense of humor. So I think why I can understand why this story can get famous at the time and why it left to masterpiece at this point from now for today. So I'm gonna keep reading for a few days after today. after this point from now on. And I'm very enjoying this reading things. So, okay. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Glad to see you guys again. Bye bye.